Mr. Mayor Cortez?
No, Cortez, Cerritos resident for 25 years. New council members. Maybe you're not aware. Again, Astor Museum is going to keep coming up. If you see the survey, 70% of the people that responded said that we didn't want us a car museum, which slowly is turning into an educational center. And again, I'm going to ask again. We have all those cars and everything else in storage. And the storage warehouse, it would be nice if the residents could see it. It looks like a museum already. That could actually be a museum, but we're paying for it. I still haven't found out where the money is coming from that building. The money that was supposed to be allocated was right here on 183rd on Bloomfield. So where's the money coming from for the storage, for the people that are working there, for all the utilities? So who's paying for that? Where's the money coming from? I'm sure most people in Cerritos will want to use that money to help with the trees and the sidewalks. And I just found out that the LA County donated about close to $1 million, I'm not sure the amount, about $1 million for the museum. Are there any strings attached to that? So the county gave some money. Why did they give the money? Are they expecting us to do anything? Do we have to show something to them with the auto museum? And if the money was donated, that's only about $1 million. We still have to spend the money for what? If you have the museum for another 20, 30, 40 years, so it's not like that money is going to be there. So that's opening another white elephant, like CCPA. And by the past council people, I know that they like white elephants. Maybe we could start a zoo. Or is that money attached to Calmet? Are there anything, is it related to the million? I'll donate the money. But then we have to look at contracts. Are they related? I keep hearing so many things, but since I don't get answers, we just speculate. I keep hearing from different people that there's some family members, Calmet, to people that are in the council or past council that were related, and now money comes from some of the same groups of people. So I could just speculate because I don't know, and no one gives me answers. And that's also for the residents to know. And I just found out a little while ago the nice Peterson Auto Museum got $125 million renovation. So if I come from Arizona, from New York, from somewhere, I want to go to an auto museum. Let me search. Okay, yes, I'm going to Cerritos Auto Museum. 100% of the people probably won't come here if that's what you're trying to make. It's hard to compete with other museums. And again, another white elephant that the city is going to have. CCPA keeps losing millions. Are the new council members going to stop the bleeding from CCPA? Look at the numbers and how much money, millions, we're losing on CCPA every year. For every ticket, we lose money. So it's like we're subsidizing, and that money we could use for other things in the city, especially safety. And again, I'm going to bring the same thing up. The property in Studebaker, no bids. Calmet, no bids. I would encourage the two new council people to see why are there no bids in such expensive contracts. 10 years. And then street sweeping attached to that. Why are there no bids? Why are we saying, well, that's the best contract we could have? Show me that's the best contract. Show the residents. Because when there's no bids, I speculate. I start thinking something happened in closed doors. A long time ago, I told you guys that maybe you guys meet at some dark coffee place, and you start deciding what to do in advance. If there are no bids, I speculate. And if I speculate, the residents speculate. And maybe someone has to investigate. Maybe the DA, maybe somebody from the county needs to investigate why there are no bids in such big contracts. 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Char. Next, Mr. J. Gray. Give us your name and the city your residence, please.
Good evening, Council. Jay Gray, City of Cerritos. Wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but after hearing the first couple of speakers, kind of struck me the Calmet contract. It's something that really needs to be revisited. I find it interesting, as it was said, the daughter-in-law of a former council person / mayor, former supervisor, company won a contract for 10 years, actually going on 20 plus years, without having to compete with a single other company, not even having to bid. Well over 10 years ago, the city of Cerritos was fined about $80,000 for not properly taking care of the trash using the current trash contractor at the time, and lo and behold, the Calmet company won a 10-year exclusive no-bid contract even after we got fined. Fast forward 10 years, and again, there was no bid, and the company won yet another 10 years. I came across online, I guess from what I understand, and I'll read it from the company that wrote this, city staff, meaning the city of Cerritos, recommended that an RFP be put out to all haulers. In the city of Cerritos, city staff recommended that the trash contract be put out to bid. Englander and Associates worked with the city council to avoid an RFP. Wow. Instead of being transparent, requesting bids, making sure that our city knew we were getting the best deal, they worked with the city council, according to their website, to get a 10-year contract without having to go out to bid. Interesting enough, the company that did the negotiations, it looks like, is the son of the former council member, who also is a big fan of our current council member, Jim Edwards, and has endorsed him on his council runs, and I believe was an appointee, Mr. Edwards was an appointee of Mr. Kanabe way back when. No. So it just kind of doesn't smell good, kind of stinks, that we have a former council member whose daughter-in-law has the company that's got 20 years of no-bidding contract, huge contract, not even just the trash contract this year around. You guys went a step further and offered up street sweeping. And interesting enough, street sweeping, I believe, used to be part of the water bill. And a little while back, a year back, we separated the water and the street sweeping. And now we want to put the street sweeping with the trash. I'm just wondering if it was just convenience that this was maybe thought of ahead of time. But, you know, why didn't we give the street sweeper, it's not just the trash contract, why didn't we give the street sweeper an opportunity to bid? Is the residents of Cerritos actually really getting the best deal possible? We hear a lot about the Astor Museum. I'm wondering if the Astor Museum is tied in because, again, former Supervisor Kanabe donated somewhere around $1 million towards the Astor Museum, and the city of Cerritos turned around and, with this trash contract, took in about $1 million worth of royalties. So was it kind of tit for tat? Was this kind of a help? Was this extra $1 million that the city's getting off the residents' back in the trash contract, because that's exactly where the royalties are going to be paid from, is from our trash bill? Is that $1 million in royalties going to go to help fund this Astor Museum that for some reason just keeps popping its head up? So I'm not sure. I mean, I think this really needs to be revisited. I think it really needs to come to light. I think really transparency needs to be shed on this, and questions need to be asked that not this council, but the previous council, just a couple months back, went ahead and took it upon themselves to pass by the vote, pass without a bid. And according to, you know, the company that did negotiations, staff recommended that there be a bid, and they instead worked with council, and council offered up the bid. And again, transparency, and maybe everything's on the up and up, but obviously no transparency, so it doesn't look good when the players are involved or who they are. So I'm asking that the council really take in consideration, because we're not just looking at one, we're looking at two 10-year contracts back to back, and we're not just looking at 10-year contracts back to back, we're also looking at now taking and throwing into that the street sweeping contract. And I know folks will say that, certain folks will say that everything's legit, everything's on the up and up, and they got Cerritos the best deal possible, but, where's that in writing? I mean, we can say that, just like we can say, we need a tax because we're in trouble and we need that sales tax, but yet, a couple months later, oh, guess what? We have a surplus. We didn't really need that sales tax after all. So I'm not sure where the credibility comes from when certain people speak. Let me slow down. I'm trying to go here because I lost my time. So again, I would appreciate if the new council members take a good look at this, bring transparency back to Cerritos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, just a comment, please.
Okay.
Let's get the truth out there. I was never an appointee of Mr. Kanabe. My first appointee was 1988 by Mr. Paul Bowl, and I was appointed to the Parks and Recreation Commission. Never appointed by Mr. Kanabe at all. So just wanted to make the record straight. Thank you.
Gio, you are right. I remember.
I do too.
Next one is Martin Roffey.